Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to get 15 LMS points an hour, even if you're terrible at the game. So to start, we're going to be looking at why this works. So LMS points are dictated by the amounts of kills you get and how long you survive. We're going to be focusing on the survival part. Once you get one kill to qualify for points, you're just going to try to stay alive as long as possible because you're probably not good enough to get kills. Now with this strategy, kills isn't what we're focusing on, it's surviving. So let's start with the setup. First you're going to want to go to the supply chest in LMS. And as you can see here, my entire setup is based around range. I'm equipping range, that's what's important. In this method you're not going to be using magic at all. Now you can start to use it once you get better at the game, but to start, it's going to be too much. A lot of people I see doing poor in LMS are trying to do too much too early. You can actually get kills pretty easily just using range and melee. Now you can put this dagger or anything else wherever you want. You can even take the magic equipment out of your inventory if you're going to be tempted to use it. So in this clip I'm going to show you exactly why this method works. So here's someone that seems pretty new to this game mode as well, but they're trying to use mage too early on. This ends up being a really easy kill for me. So you can see they try to use magic before putting on robes. They keep messing up their prayers. And overall, this ends up being a very easy fight for me. And skipping ahead in this fight, you can see that I actually get the KO because they switched to magic instead of switching their prayer. And this is a great example of someone doing too much, and where some of your points would be coming from. Now if you're just going for points, this is a point where you would just try to run and hide. That doesn't end up working for me however, as I get frozen, but I end up dying when there's only 9 survivors left, which is great because that means 2 points. So here I'm going to walk you through a game. Now you can clearly see I'm not very good at LMS, especially since I'm playing with a trackpad. The first thing you're going to want to do is take your ranging potion and your superset. Next, you're going to want to put on your protection prayer, depending on which combat style it looks like you're fighting, and put on rigor. Now I'm going to suggest that you have at least fought Jad before going to LMS. If you've beaten Jad in an account, well, it will give you a good advantage because a lot of what you're doing in LMS is reacting to what your opponent is doing. So here you can see I'm looking at what my opponent's style is, they run up, I put on melee right away. Now that they're in close range, I can try to get a melee attack off on my own while their prayers are down. Now you can see this player is not that great either, as they haven't reacted or changed their prayers yet. Whereas I've been trying to change my prayers and have the correct attack style as the secondary priority. So you can see I easily get the kill here, and now we're going to move ahead to the next fight. Anyways, I get my loot from the chest. These are 2 upgrades, Carol's Top and Armadillo Crossbow. Since we're mostly using range, this is a great upgrade for us. Definitely goes well with our strategy. Right here you can see they're not changing prayers, so I just keep dumping specs until they do. Now I go back to range. Now I'm pretty close to KOing him here, but I just try to focus on getting the right attack style off and doing the right prayer. Now I miss one right here, as he gets a hit off me on the wrong prayer, but I get the prayer right back up after, and just focus on trying to do damage and keeping my prayers up. Now if you're not good at the game, it's simply not worth it to use magic here. I can focus on what he's doing to attack me, mitigate the damage that's being done to me, and to focus hitting him off prayer with just these 2 attack styles. Now the third fight coming up is a lot more interesting because it's against a good Pker. Now I'm just going to equip the Bandos Tacets, drop anything I don't need, and get ready for the next fight. Between fights, I suggest you put on the Protect from Magic Prayer, unless you see what style they're going to hit you with, so this way you're less likely to get frozen. The goal here is to survive, but he tags me, so I'm going to have to fight him. The longer this fight goes on, the better it is for me, because it's more likely for survivors to be eliminated. Since this is an actual good Pker, I really have to focus on my prayers here, as they're going to be running around and switching attack styles a lot more often. And as you can see, I do get hit off prayer a lot, but I still managed to get an opportunity right here to get a special attack off before he changes prayer. So if you can get a couple hits like this off prayer, honestly, sometimes it can turn the tide of the fight, and your opponent can start panicking, even if they're a good Pker. But that's not what happens here. So I just try to play solidly, focus on my prayers, and make sure that I'm not taking unnecessary damage. Remember, my goal here isn't necessarily to win, since I've been in the game and already eliminated someone, it's to survive. So I skipped ahead a little bit here, and you can see that the survivors count has dropped to 9, which is great for me because that means I'm going to get an extra LMS point. At this point, it doesn't really matter what I do, this Pker is probably going to KO me. Now, if I did miraculously get a KO, I would try to just survive until there's only 4 people left, because that means an extra point for me. And the third kill would also mean an extra point, which would be awesome, but that's not what ends up happening. He ends up rinsing me and killing me. However, that doesn't really matter since we got our 2 points and we can get into the next game. Now I promise you, if you do this, you can definitely get 15 points an hour. Anyways, I hope this helps, and good luck out there.